I'm here with Arturo now at the RSD office in LA. Thanks so much for coming down from Inner Circle, LA, and I'm looking forward to this.
Cool, man. Thank you. Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Yeah. Also, I want to say thank you for your service. I know you were in the Air Force.
I was in the Air Force Reserves Officer Training Corps.
Well, there you go. Well, you served our country.
Yeah, I mean, I love the excitement of the military. I think it's because when I was a kid, my father was helping the recruiters for the Directorate of Science and Technology, which is the branch that recruits people who do computer programming for the CIA. Oh, wow. And I was a coder. I was a nerd. I was a computer programmer. And so I always thought it'd be cool when fascinated by spy movies to go to some of the events that he would host at the federal buildings and meet actual agents. Like I got to meet a guy who was involved with the Cuban Missile Crisis and the operations in that. Guy who's now like super famous for it. And I think that, even though being the nerd behind a computer, you never actually see any action. And most of the people in the Air Force don't either.
Yeah.
I think it was cool to learn about all this.
Well, I mean, you did your part, so that's the greatest part. So I want to start off by asking you, what is a day in the life of the CEO of RSD?
So the first thing I do when I wake up is I do the same thing every day. I do a little bit of financial analysis. I look at our bank accounts, our shopping cart, I do cash flow calculations, and then I start my day, get dressed, take a shower, and I'll probably either do one of two things. One, I'll go upstairs and immediately just get meetings, one after another, phone calls. My assistant sets appointments. They set you to come here.
Yeah, exactly.
My executive assistant, Lisa, reached out to you. And, she was actually in the Army also, so she's really organized, which is great. If I don't have that, I might meet up with some friends for golf. For example, today and yesterday, I played golf, but I also brought my camera crew. I did interviews. I was talking about operations and business and doing things like that. Then I meet up with my attorneys. I'll meet up with my business executives on the phone. I'll have team meetings. And I think that's pretty different day to day. For example, today I did interviews, a lot of interviews. I did lunch meetings in Beverly Hills with my chief marketing officer and someone who we were talking about bringing on as chief strategy officer. And also I met up with you and also worked on building some of the technology and putting some of the art in office. Yesterday, I was, networking with other people. I was meeting with the son of a very powerful guy and a good friend of mine, and I was making plans for a party that we're co-hosting with Steve Aoki and the U.S. Attorney General and District Attorney. I'm getting a lot more involved with the community in Vegas, so I've been raising money for the Las Vegas Relief Fund. I also went to the UNLV Law Center to help out one of my celebrity friends in the music world with a custody battle, since I know a lot about the law. I've been through countless amounts of cases, of issues, of various things, and business contracts, business deals, and I'll talk to our teams. I mean, it's my responsibility to be in charge of finance, technology, marketing, sales, HR, travel, and then the instructors' product launches, schedules and timelines have to get done, so I have to make sure they have the resources they need. So it's me just managing a team that is part of a machine that I've the ultimate responsibility for building.
That sounds like you're a busy guy.
I do spend time every day, though, with my wife. She travels with me everywhere I go. I might go to dinner with her, we'll watch a movie, have some wine, and then I'll go to sleep for ideally 8 hours a day. Might average more like 6 to 8 hours a day. But I found sleep important. I used to say, you're not supposed to sleep until you die. That was like a mantra that I had that was wrongly the mantra you're not supposed to have. You have more energy when you sleep.
Yeah, exactly. You have to rebuild.
Definitely.
So my next question is going to be, so when you first started, Nick, what made you get into owning your own business or being an entrepreneur?
So I created my first company when I was 18. It's a financial advisory firm, Department of Corporations of California. I created it as a brokerage firm to sponsor myself to get the Series 7, Series 65, Series 63 life, health, disability insurance licenses, and ultimately plan to take the Series 624 to create my own broker-dealer firm. Because I thought that if I could do that, then I could manage money as a money manager, and then eventually get into investment banking. Then I realized investment bankers don't have any of those licenses. But it was because I was in boarding school. I was in boarding school and I was surrounded by people from all walks of life. Business opportunities I didn't understand. So I had to be reaching out to all sorts of people to try to put the parts together, to understand the world I was living in.
Right.
I grew up in a pretty sheltered community up until that time, where I was, I think, I was always the top of my classes. I had a mother who was a teacher. My father was a professor. He became a university president. I was so academically inclined because I had fear that if I didn't know something, it would hurt me. Right. So when I was young, I would go to the library all the time. There was always a reward system for me even going to the library, reading 3 books. I get tickets to go see the Oakland A's baseball or the San Francisco Giants or something like that. Even the library was giving out rewards like that. So and my parents would give me opportunity to travel to a place with them or some kind of other cool ability, like they would take me to a concert. So I've always been a fan of meritocracy, where you work hard, you get some reward. Exactly. Still that way today. Our whole company's built on that as a premise.
So what was RSD's initial mission?
The reason why we call ourselves Real Social Dynamics is because our mission was to create a company that wasn't just about dating. We didn't call ourselves Dating Dynamics. We didn't call ourselves Seduction Sciences or something relating to dating relationships. We always knew that what we were teaching was stuff that changed our entire identity. The love for what we call the game, which in my opinion is just a process of identity level change through talking to girls and getting better at it. Other people will slander the term gaming as if it means manipulating girls to have sex with you and then abusing her. And it's kind of interesting because the other thing I really found powerful was the concept itself of framing. Like you look at a window frame, you see a picture, say it's a river, and some people will say that signifies life and beauty. Other person will say that signifies risk, danger. Other person will say that represents peace and tranquility. Everything you see can be framed in a different way. And I found it always a fascinating thing because for me, I didn't grow up with a lot of communications and social skills, graces, understanding how to communicate, how to do an interview, how to be in front of people or build networks of friends. And that was a skill set I had to learn how to master. It was something that I always wanted to master. To become an entrepreneur, you have to also take risks. So I've always been willing to lose it all. I think it's because I've been a victim of bullying to the point where I felt like I was so low, I didn't have any friends, and I had nothing to lose. Right. I've also had a situation where I've had a lot of success and I've lost it all to the point where I lived in my car. I've had situations where I've had all my assets frozen and received death threats from me, personally not even believing myself, and then still being pummeled by governments. And because I've survived all that and still gotten great results in my life, I don't fear that. A lot of people who are in the same situation will just give up completely. Right. I know people that have killed themselves. I'm going on the 17th of this month to a memorial concert for Chester from Lincoln Park. I think that a lot of problems that people face is because they don't realize how the world could get better from the different changing of frames and looking at things. I think that's a really valuable lesson that we learn in game. Yeah, exactly. Challenge is the reason why when I speak in front of a group of entrepreneurs, I look at them like Navy SEALs, not because they are. I look at them, I have to imagine them for my own purposes, that they're Navy SEALs. Because if I'm teaching someone to be an entrepreneur and they're not ready, they're most likely 90% of the time in 3 years, they're going to lose everything. Exactly. So I have to envision everyone as being hard and ready. When the truth is 1 out of 10 will survive. The rest of them will be devastated. They may think they just wasted their life for the entire time of doing it. The same person will say, I learned all these skills. Next time I take a shot, I'll utilize those skills, get better, stronger, and have a cool story to tell. You got to look at the frame in the right way.
Right. Well, that's very interesting. Yeah. So going back to what the initial mission of RSD was, has it changed? Has it evolved throughout these, 17 years? No, it's 15 years?
We made it a lot more specific.
Right.
Yeah, so we were created in 2002. It's now 2017, so it's been about 15 years. And we originally had no idea that we were going to partner with people in the health and fitness world like Brandon Carnegie Gallagher, or get more deeply into self-improvement world with instructors throughout the world teaching self-improvement, or the dating relationship stuff would be so intertwined with these other stuff. We're definitely not talking about business advice. We never thought we'd be teaching any of that. So yeah, it's definitely changed and evolved. I think the reason why is because it's all dependent on you.
Exactly.
Whatever you want, we create. We talk to you, you say you want this, we give it to you.
Yeah, no, exactly. And one of the things that I find interesting is, especially looking through your YouTube channel, listen to all the entrepreneur talk, it's that it makes sense. Guys go out there to meet girls, and the changes they make in themselves helps them in their business, because you create relationships with other people, even males, everybody else. So that's it's only natural that it went that way.
Yeah. So I mean, as a student of RSD, your feedback is so important to us. We even have teams of people that are concierges, and that's their only job. Yeah. They just reach out to people that are students after the program, or even in the program itself. You're on a boot camp every day, and ask what it is that you're learning, what it is you like, and how you customize a program experience to make it even better.
Yeah, that's great.
And if you're just saying everything's great, makes us very happy as well. We just keep building upon those things that you liked. Yeah,
well, very much appreciate it, because it has helped a lot. So my next question is, I know you and Owen are really good business partners. What do you look for in a business partner?
Owen and I are like brothers. I mean, I view Owen more like family than a business partner. I have a lot of people that are joint venture partners with us, and we don't have the same kind of relationship. So Owen's very unique. Owen and I have a level of trust that's the same kind of trust you would have in a marriage. We're kind of like a family without being blood family. Right. So that's powerful. That's very useful, because there's nothing that Owen could do as someone who's in my family that would tear us apart. Whereas if you make mistakes, or if you're not perceived as doing what the other person wants in a business relationship, usually it falls apart. Most of the time. I see it happen all the time to other businesses. And even me and Owen have had our differences to the point where we weren't sure if we wanted the company to continue, many times.
No way.
Mm-hmm. When times go tough, we disagree on the vision or direction, it happens. However, we're brothers. And so we talk it out and things work out.
So basically it's your idea of a business partner. You would probably go for like somebody who you could trust that way.
You have to, especially if you want the business to survive. And the same thing in a marriage. It's on your values. Right. And the core values are what's create trust. It's like what Stephen Covey talks about in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, principles. Right. And focusing on principles before money, before your desires, is going to be what allows you to have strong relationships.
Right. It's basically constructing a foundation to build upon in relationships and with your business, correct?
Definitely.
That's nice. So this is kind of a funny question. So you started off being Papa, right? From doing pickup, and everybody knows you. Why get married? Why are you getting?
Well,
why did you get married?
I wanted to get married.
Was that an
ever since I was a kid? I wanted to find a good girl, get into a relationship, marry her, have kids, have a family, have a career. That was always my goal. I mean, my New Year's resolution every year, even when I was in pickup, was to get a girlfriend. It wasn't to just have random sexual escapades with thousands of girls. I've had an awesome dating life before I was married, right. And now I am very thankful for being married.
That's great, and congratulations on that.
I think that's also depending on how lucky you are to find that kind of person, also what your values are. I mean, I know people who come from a very different background who never want to get married. Or so they say.
Right, exactly. It's going back to speaking about earlier when you said, you were sheltered when you were younger. I was kind of sheltered, but I have kids now. I have two boys, and currently not with their mother. And my biggest thing is it's learning from all this RSD and learning from all that is I've known how to manage my balance between being too strict with them and allowing them to experience things and allowing them to learn. And through working with RSD, working through RSD, not working with RSD, but working through RSD and really finding myself has helped me become that much better as a father to my kids. And what do you think about kids? I mean, are you planning on having kids?
I have not kids, but I have embryos, frozen embryos.
Oh, really?
At a clinic because we have a surrogate agency.
Okay.
And this week I'm going to talk to a potential surrogate for my future kids.
Oh,
we've been trying to have kids naturally for years now, and it just never happened. I don't know why. We did health checks, they look normal. So we decided to create embryos, and we also decided that we wanted to just get it done the way we want to. So we actually could determine the gender. One boy, one girl, twins, to be born at the same time through a surrogate, and see the birth, have the kids, be created with our genetics, my wife and me, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that experience.
Yeah, no, it's a crazy experience.
Already started going through workshops. I went to Seattle. I saw a baby workshop. We're going through those kind of materials. I have friends that are baby education gurus, and I've hung out with them as well.
Wow, no, that's very amazing. So, going from talking about kids, but so what is right now? I mean, up to now, what is your greatest, I guess, success so far when it comes to business?
Well, RSD is the only business that has created a massive impact in my life. I've created a lot of small companies, like I was talking about that finance company,
right.
And I've made small tech companies and party clubs. RSD by far is the easiest one for me to answer. It is now a global company. We have hundreds of thousands of clients we've taught face-to-face live and influenced millions of people.
Yeah, you guys are on Forbes, right?
I've been in Forbes for better or for worse.
Why worse?
Well, I think that RSD has been villainized in the media during scandals, like what happened in Joyingate, where they made a bunch of fabrications about him. So we've been in every media outlet. In fact, what my thesis for my Harvard master's degree program is about legal ramifications of slander in the media. I think that it's good to let people know about cool things that are going on in the world. And if it wasn't for the news, I wouldn't know a lot of things. Just that I believe that the thing that I'm proud of is that we were able to build a fan base, a tribe, that even when the media gets it wrong, they still support us and allow us to grow and flourish and survive.
Right. How do you and your partners build a consumer culture, right, around your products? How did you guys? I mean, it's.
The master who could answer that would be Tyler. Now, when I could contribute to it, I'll contribute my point of view. But I mean, Tyler could write a book about this and talk about it in massive details that would just be jaw-dropping.
Right.
So I'll give you my piece of mind, because I actually view Tyler as the main reason why we have that consumer culture. And my understanding is solely from the fact that I know that we create epiphanies, which are those concepts that truly shock and surprise you, where you look at them and you are wowed to the point where you just want to tell everyone what you learned. And we provide that for free every day of the week through videos that we release for free. And we spend, for each video, hundreds if not thousands of dollars just giving value away for free, with massive armies of people to market it, to promote it, to build it, cameramen, video editors, and the instructors and the travel team to fly people to cities around the world, and the sales team to get students to show up so that we have students in the videos. And me as a general of generals and other people that are also part of this team. I think that is the thing that people just don't see. I think it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't understand and who don't see the value in the videos. That was one of the biggest things that when I talk to guys and they're like, hey, you do this and you do that. It's like, yeah, guys, just go out, look at the videos, and really pay attention to them because so much value in them.
The core values that we believe in, we practice what we preach, we teach it, and you can see the genuine authenticity of what is said when you see a guy like Tyler as the main face of our company and other instructors and students getting results and seeing the passion, seeing the results they're talking about, and actually seeing the results that we actually record and put out there. So when you have a culture based on real results and then a culture that is based upon people adding to that culture, it's great. It's a culture that we also continually shape. One of the things that we've always wanted to shape on or build upon was having a lifestyle that is better than the lifestyle that you imagine and continually striving for continual self-improvement. That's been and still is and probably always will be our biggest core value. However, it's little things that continually change too.
Yeah, no, it's everything you're saying is, so it's amazing. It's up. So I got two more questions for you. How do you believe evolving technology will impact the way you do business?
I believe that the technology that we're seeing out there, almost everything that you see out there, eventually becomes open source in some way so that other people can build upon it fast. Phone apps, the accelerated rate of VR. I don't know if you've seen Blade Runner 3D, but I believe all that technology is eventually going to come out. And I believe that that's going to massively affect relationships where you'll have people be able to communicate with people in new ways, communicate with objects in new ways. I believe that the way we market, interact with people will change too. I mean, we're in a day and age where we already have self-driving cars, just that so few people have them. And as these products that are super expensive become cheaper, for example, the fact that there's reusable launch vehicles that could travel from one place to another anywhere in the world within an hour. But instead of it costing $30 million, it'll cost $30,000. Yeah. And maybe a few decades from now, it'll cost $30. Relatively speaking, in terms of like how our currency will change with inflation, I think that's amazing. And that's how we're going to bridge gaps in communication, just like how the Google and internet and social media connects people today. I'm excited about that. I've always been excited about staying on the edge of cutting technology. I mean, I was studying technology and doing programming since I was in middle school before Word existed. Instead of using a keyboard, I created a word processor in Basic A so I could type out and submit assignments that looked like they were done on a typewriter, but printed out. So, I mean, things like this I think is amazing. Now people have Word. They don't have to spend like hours to type stuff out. So, yeah, I'm really excited for that.
So I know you're really big into reading a lot of books. So what would be the top 3 books that you would suggest to any entrepreneur and any guy getting into dating, like in general? What would you suggest?
I always mention almost the same books every single time. In terms of in general, it's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Awesome book that got me to focus on my cores as opposed to focusing on just pickup or just business and money or any other thing. And I think that in addition to the concept of seeking first to understand before being understood has helped me a lot in my communication. Crucial Conversations is a program and a book I recommend. We got our instructors to study because anyone who doesn't study it is going to lose a lot of their communication skills and skill sets. I've studied a lot about that and about business negotiation, about personal social communication skills. Psycho-Cybernetics, a book by Maxwell, and it's about the basic concepts of framing and reframing, concepts that are core in NLP and Tony Robbins and stuff like that. I think that's good stuff as well, just to understand the basic principles behind that and also how your mind works. Studying books about how your mind works has always been a fascination to me as well. There's no greater organ in your body than your brain.
No, yeah, no, definitely. And it's always good to work on it, much like any part of your body. Like if you go building your brain is really, really important. So I want to ask you one more thing. Is there anything that you want to let us know or you want to talk about before we end this? Anything that you might just be thinking about?
Well, if you want to get more involved with RSD, I'm looking for 5 people to 10 people to join me in Las Vegas and to work with me all day and work with our team all day in our new offices. And before we acquire a new office building and move into it, I want 5 to 10 people to apply, relocate to Vegas, and join our team. And that's the thing that I'm most interested in doing right now. And hopefully I can get that done in the next month or 2.
Wow. Well, thank you very much.
Cool.
Thank you for your
Cheers.
time. Thank you.
Thanks.